episode 377. I am your host, Keith Andrew, along here with the talented and beautiful Bernadette Sayre. And I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
The honor's all mine. Now, for people who want to know what my talk show is about, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities. But you should never give up. You should prove people wrong. But labels do not dictate who you are and who you want to be. And you should prove to them you can break those labels. So hashtag break the labels. That being said, half hour.
Awesome.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying that's awesome. I like it.
Half hour, 35 minutes of your time. You can say anything you want, curse if you want to. And starting off, what can you tell us about yourself?
Well, first, but before I get into that, I did have one question for you. I was just curious, how did you come across my contact? I wasn't sure, did we have any mutual friends? Or, because you're located in New York, right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And I'm in Virginia.
Well, how I network is I use LinkedIn, Twitter, States32, and I look up actors and actresses, and sometimes I would look at my friends who I interview, and I look at acts if I can network with their friends. So basically it's that just networking and networking.
Oh, okay, nice. So kind of through seeing one person brought you to another link and so on. Very cool. Now this is, what number show is this?
Oh, 377.
Wow. Nice. 377. Woo! I like it. Congratulations.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And out of curiosity, are you interested in voiceovers?
I have done a little bit of voiceover work. I do enjoy it. It's really fun. I recently just did a short film where I was like the narrator, if you want to think of it in the terms of Lord of the Rings, where you have the opening dialogue to the film. So I got to do something like that, and it was a period piece, really, really cool, and I loved it. So I'm super excited to see that film come out.
No, absolutely. I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But wrapping up, we didn't even start yet.
We've been here for 5 minutes and we're done.
Don't mind me.
I'm over it. He's like, I want out.
One of those days. So starting off, what can you tell us about life growing up?
Sorry, say it again, about how it was growing up?
Yeah, how was life growing up?
Yeah, so I'm from a large family. I'm the third oldest of 7 siblings, and I was homeschooled a bit as a child. I also graduated from public high school. So growing up, I actually, I'm using a cell phone. I can show you my backyard if you're interested.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I don't really know how to flip. I don't know if I can flip the phone, but if you can see, I've got horses. You can't see the horses right now, but I kind of live on a farm, so to speak, or well, technically my parents. And so I got to grow up with horses and some livestock, chickens. We've had donkeys. My dad owned, let me see if I can get this straight. My dad owned peacocks at one point. Yeah, it was really cool. It was really fun. I grew up around lots of animals, rabbits, dogs, cats, fish, you name it. So super fun childhood. And then in my young adult life, I've traveled a lot. I have 2 degrees. I have a BA in psychology and then a MFA in acting with a concentration in directing. But in between getting the 2 degrees, I did a ton of traveling in Europe and Asia, studied abroad in Australia. So it's been good. It's been really fun.
Oh, really cool.
Yeah.
Now,
have you ever been outside the U.S.?
I've been in New Jersey, Connecticut, and that's really about it. I'm still working on it. Hey, if you want to travel with me, I appreciate it.
Well, We'll have to plan something. That'll be fun. What if you could go to a country? What would be your first pick?
Probably Canada.
Canada. You see, that I feel like is an excellent answer because as an American, a lot of times we sometimes pass over going to Canada or Mexico, which are countries that are they're our neighbors. I have been to Mexico just a little bit, but I've never been to Canada. But I've been to Australia. So yeah, I really need to hit our neighbor.
Hey, if you ever want to go on like a road trip with me, we can definitely work something out. It's funny.
Yeah, because you're right there. Are you in New York City?
No, I'm near West Point.
Okay, I'm not quite sure. Okay, cool.
So from New York City, it's about 2 hours going, I think, east or north.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, I've been to Buffalo, and then I've been to New York City.
All right, so Buffalo for me is about overall 6 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's
cool.
6 hours going north.
Nice. Okay. And have you grown up in New York your whole life?
Yep, my parents moved in to this house 30 years ago, and I was here 29 years.
Wow. Dang. Now I've watched a couple of your shows, and you mentioned that your dad and your brother do this as well. Is that correct?
Not really. For an example, my dad's a former retired assistant principal, and I really made a promise that I wouldn't cross over with what my brother does. But he does something similar.
Oh, okay. What got you into wanting to interview artists? Are you wanting to eventually become a huge host, or I don't know, somebody? I'm trying to think of Ryan Seacrest. Is that would that be one of your idols?
Not really. I would say more. I like to be like Bill O'Reilly and Bill Maher.
Very cool.
Okay, I do want to have that. I have the professional edge, but I also can have that asshole edge to me too.
Hey, I feel it. I know it. Nice. Very cool.
Before Fox News screwed him over, I really wanted to be interviewed by Bill O'Reilly. But at the time, I'm still trying to get him on my show. But still a work in progress. But, I do want to work for the WWE. I do want to be a manager or a referee or a broadcaster. So to answer your question, I do want to be in the entertainment world, yes.
Very cool. Very cool. Nice. Very cool.
Now the next question I was going to ask you is, did you do any sports growing up? And when you were in college, were you a study nerd or party animal?
I definitely did sports growing up. I love sports. I did softball, basketball, snowboarding. I mentioned horseback riding, soccer, volleyball. I ran for my high school's cross country and track team. I ended up ranking second on the team, and I made it to, let me think if I can remember, districts. I think I ranked 14th at districts. And then in college, I went to George Mason University, and I made it on the varsity girls cross country team. The only reason why I ended up giving up the team after my first year was I had a really bad injury over the summer. I tore my ankle playing softball, and I had to give up running. But you know what? It worked out because that's when I ended up taking the choice to study abroad in Australia. I joined a sorority, so you end up doing other things, so it was okay. But I really, really loved running. And then you asked if I was a party animal. Yes and no. Definitely not anymore. I'm 26, and I always refer to myself as a grandma. Like, I don't know. I was very different from when I was 21 or, even a little bit younger in college. I was really social. I went out a ton. And the older I've gotten, I've become a little bit more homebody, and I really enjoy one-on-one conversations. I really enjoy feeling like I have a connection and a really deep relationship with my friends. So I enjoy that one-on-one time,
Well,
or small group as well.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I apologize.
Oh no, you're fine.
I was gonna say I hope I do fall under that category.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you spending time and you enjoying doing one-on-one conversations would follow under that category. Not to say I don't love big groups. I certainly do have a very social side to my personality that I've kept. I don't know. I think when you get older, it's kind of a natural progression that you want more substance and to your friendships, if that makes sense.
It does. I do have one idea for you, but I do want to ask you the next question first. Did you ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids?
Oh, I have. Yeah, I saw that you would ask this question. I actually have not. Now, my mother was a cheerleader, and ironically, she has 6 daughters, and not a single one of us did cheerleading. Not one.
Well, I came up with a new subject for myself called the Human Pyramid section. I have 3 hard-hitting questions for you.
Okay.
And the first one is, would you ever do one, or is it past tense? You don't want to do it?
Would I ever do a human pyramid?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, you know what? I lied. I have done a human pyramid. Not for cheerleading, though. I did it on my soccer team. A bunch of us girls. We had about, I don't know, maybe 10 of us. But I probably look like I might not be able to hold my own, but I was actually one of the girls at the bottom, and I was strong enough to hold them.
Well, you look great to me.
Thank you.
Now, the next question I was going to ask you, would you do the side-by-side, or would you do the stack?
Sorry, ask it again?
Would you do the side-by-side, or would you do the stack?
Oh my gosh. It was probably over 10 years ago.
Well, I just need overall.
We had it where it was, I think 4 to 5 girls on the bottom, hands and knees on the ground, and then the next girl on top of us would put one knee on one of the girls' backs and a knee on the other. And we did it like that. So we didn't do it where we were holding feet, if that's what you're asking.
No, I asked, would you do the side, if we had to do it again, would you do it side by side, or would you do like a stack? Which one do you like to do?
Probably side by side. I would say side by side. Mm-hmm.
Well, don't knock the stack till you tried.
Yeah, exactly.
And my last question is, how big of a pyramid would you make it? Would you make it big or small?
I would make it probably, I've seen those really elaborate ones. It's like a competition. I can't remember which country held it, but they were able to do these massive, massive human pyramids that looked absolutely terrifying. And by the top of it, you got a little young child who's very light at the very tippy top. I would say I would keep it on the smaller side, just because I'm not trained for it.
I think you're talking about the Spaniards, the ones in
Maybe.
Spain.
I think it was a competition globally. I think there were countries represented, but I don't know. I saw it on YouTube years ago.
I love that stuff. I'm a loser. Now, my next question I was going to ask you is, well, if you ever want to do it, I always wanted to do one, so if you want to help me out, I'd really appreciate it.
Maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I'm a little bit of a grandma at the moment where I don't work out like I used to. Besides, I'm like 6 or probably 8 or 9 hours away from you.
Never say never.
That's true. Never say never. In our hearts, we will make one.
Well, my next question I was going to ask you, you brought up a good point about talking one-on-one. Do you have a group of girlfriends who would want to do a group interview, like, say, you and 3 others or 4 others? And the reason I ask is because a lot of people told me I should be a public speaker. So I've been doing a lot of one-on-ones. Now I'm good with talking to people one-on-one.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm now doing double. Don't mind the noise in the background. The guy's cutting grass.
Okay.
So the guy. So basically, I was told, why don't you do group interviews? So basically, long story short, without hesitating, I want to start interviewing 2 people at the same time. I want to start interviewing 3 people at the same time. So when I get out into a public setting, say there's a whole bunch of people, I already have the experience. So if you and a bunch of your sisters or from your sisterhood or friends want to do a group interview, I would really appreciate it. And I would see the numbers if people would be more interested in the double interviews or the group interviews.
Yeah. I would definitely be open to it. Unfortunately, none of my acting friends live anywhere close to me. They live the closest one would be about 3.5 hours away from me. I certainly would be open to it. Maybe if they were Skyping from their house, if we could do a 3-way Skype, I think that would work really well.
Hey, let me know when you want to do that.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
And now the next question I was going to ask you is, who influenced you to start your career, and how many years your acting career?
Mm-hmm.
Who influenced you to start your acting career, and how many years have you been doing it?
Yeah, so I got into acting. It's kind of I don't know how interesting it is, but anyways, when I was little, at around 10 years old, this is going to sound so silly, I was watching the Disney Channel, and I remember just watching the kids on there and think, wow, like they look like they're having so much fun, which of course they are. And I asked my mom, I said, Mom, how do you audition to be a Disney kid? I want to audition for that. That looks like a ton of fun. And my mom was just like, I have no idea. Figure it out when you're an adult, which is totally fair. Nobody in my family, we can't find any family members that did acting. I have one professional cousin who's a ballerina in Vegas. So, but besides that, we didn't know. And I feel like the industry is one of those industries where if you don't know the right people or you're not familiar with it, it's kind of hard to get in. But once you get in, you're in. But it's just kind of figuring it out, and a lot of questions. And it's a little bit of, I don't want to say a secret society, but I think they do that on purpose, of course, because so many people want to be actors that if everything was accessible, or if every casting director, every agent, or every director was so easy to talk to and approach, they would be overwhelmed by the amount of numbers that people would just throw headshots at them. So it makes sense. So I did a little bit of theater, and I liked it. I have a tremendous amount of respect for theater, but I always knew I wanted to do film acting. But unfortunately, I lived in a small town where I wasn't, those resources were not available. And I was just kind of young, and I didn't know, who to talk to or where to find those resources. So when I went to George Mason, I originally was a theater undergrad, but again, I liked theater, but it just wasn't where my heart was. So within the first semester, I ended up changing my major to my minor to my major, which was psychology. But I had spoken to my guidance counselor, and I conveyed to him, are there any film classes? And he said, no, unfortunately. And I told him that my first semester, my first year at George Mason. So fast forward, my senior year, second semester, I go in to sit down with him, make sure all my credits are in line. I'm 20 years old, and he tells me, he knew me by my first name, which I thought was amazing. And he said, hey, I remember that you said you always wanted to do film acting. like you said, that was really important to you. For the first time, we've opened up a film acting class at George Mason. It's a 400 level course, and you have to be a senior to take it, and you're a senior, and you need one more credit to graduate. And I was like, oh my gosh, no way, yes. So I jumped on it, took the class, and I think within 2 weeks, so this was my first time ever acting in front of a camera. Within 2 weeks, I remember I walked out of class one day, called my mom, walking back to my dorm room, and I said, that's it. I knew it. I knew I would love it. I always knew I would. I'm not going to go on to get my PhD in psychology. I'm not going to go on to take the GRE, which is what I was planning for that summer to further my psychology career. And I said, no, like, I'm an actor. And from that moment on, I committed to being an actor. So yeah, I've written a letter to that counselor. I give a lot of thanks to him because he remembered what I said my freshman year, and he probably has hundreds and hundreds of students. So I just thought that was incredible.
No, absolutely. Now we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when
Sure.
I come back, I'm going to ask you one more hard-hitting question, and then we'll pass the show over to you.
Okay, sounds great.
A message for yourself or as a gift for someone else. For personal connections, shout-outs, birthdays, proposals, weddings, and much more. Enter your details about yourself so the celebrity can record a personal video message especially for you, including details such as your name, age, birthday, hobbies, or whatever else you include. As soon as the video has been recorded, you'll get an email with your link so you can share it on social media or download and keep it. Celebrities record videos as and when they can, usually within 2 weeks. But if you want a video for a specific date and it does not look like it will arrive in time, you can cancel it and get an instant refund at the click of a button. There are hundreds of celebrities to choose from and many more joining every day. Search by category or genre, buy a gift voucher, get updates and offers, and encourage your favorite celebrities to join so they can connect with fans in a fun and unique way. Raise money for their charities and much more. So order your video now for yourself or for someone else.
377. I'm here with the beautiful and talented Bernadette. Talented. Yeah, I can't talk. The talented Bernadette. Well,
Bernadette.
Bernadette. Talented Bernadette. And I just want to say thank you for putting up with me, and I apologize for busting your name.
No worries. No worries at all.
The one thing I do want to pass over, before I pass over the show to you, is the last subject I do want to ask you, is social media. So can social media make you or break you? And after that subject, I will give the show over to you.
Can it make me or break me? Oh, I hear a dog. I'm going to be honest. I'm not like a huge celebrity by any means.
Right.
I'm sure the majority of the people watching this have no idea who I am, and that's okay. So with what I see online, I would almost say I don't think it can necessarily break you, so long as you're not putting anything extremely disrespectful online, I don't think it can. And honestly, my philosophy is just you can hear my dog in the background now.
That's why I started to laugh.
We have dogs everywhere. They're on to us. No. I think I just have this philosophy where it really doesn't matter. Just be true to yourself. Do what makes you happy. If you're enjoying your art, that is the number one thing that matters, honestly.
No, absolutely. What people will say, so let me ask you, does your Twitter following, does your Instagram following, does your LinkedIn Stage 32 numbers matter if you get a role or not? Or is it, I'll give you an example. Say you have over 1,000 people following you on all social medias, and I have a good story. Does the good story weigh out the numbers, or does the numbers weigh out the good story?
Before I answer that, do you want me to try and get him? Is he being too loud?
No, it's fine.
It's okay. Okay. For me personally, what do I think? Like for myself?
Yeah.
okay, so the question is the story more important to me than the numbers that I generate? Definitely the story. Of course, it's always a great feeling when people agree with you or give you praise. I think as humans, who doesn't, enjoy that? But to me, what I've definitely come more into my own with is if I enjoy it and I'm happy and I'm proud of myself, then ultimately that is the gain that I'm going for, because you cannot please everyone and you'll be exhausted trying to make every human on this planet happy. It's just not going to happen. So if you can be happy and feel good about yourself, then you're doing the right thing.
No, absolutely. I agree with you. Like you said, if you try to please everyone, you're going to set yourself up for failure.
It's just not going to happen. And, there's enough people on this planet where you find your niche and you find the group of people who are similar to you, and that's your community. And I think that's a beautiful thing. It's just like, you're not going to be like, let's take looks for an example. You're not going to be a 10 to everyone, and you're not going to be a 1 to everyone. But at least as long as you have that one person that you end up marrying, or, just using this as an example, and you're each other's 10, that's all that matters. You don't have to be a 10 to every single person in the world. If that makes sense, using it in that terms?
That's true, and it's funny to mention that. I sort of sent a video, and I was starting to use this for myself. Wanted to start using it, but I kind of messed up my face. Let me ask you, how would you rate me? And before you say that...
Oh, even not going there.
Well, it's just for fun. The reason I was going to say that, it's just videos. This guy's like, how would you rate me? How can you hit on girls? How you can talk to girls? But the reason I would say, before I cut you off, was sure. I kind of messed up my face. I put throw myself out there. I have bushy eyebrows. And I went to trim my eyebrows, and I kind of went over a little too far. So now it's kind of... it's really...
I can't even tell. I can't even see that.
Well,
and that's okay. It'll grow back.
It does. But do you think it's guys should put their... What is your woman's opinion? Do you think guys should put their eyebrows, or do you think they should walk around with a unibrow?
I think they should. I think it's nice when they do. I personally do. Mm-hmm. But whatever people want to do. Again, it's that idea that I'm not going to marry every man on the planet.
Yeah.
So, if there's men out there who don't want to clip their unibrow, that's 100% up to them. But for my personal taste, if, whoever's looking to date me, I would encourage them. I'd say it might be kind of nice if you keep it on the cleaner side.
I didn't mean to throw you underneath the bus. So I'll throw myself under there. That's like I'm not gay, but my brother teases me that he thinks I am.
Yeah, but I know lots of straight men who are very, very particular about, keeping their appearances up and stuff. I think it's great. It's whoever, it's your personal preference. I mean, I don't know how good I look right now.
No, you look great.
This for me, I would say is, dressing up.
Yeah.
For some people, might not be. But I'm actually, I'm the kind of person that I'm very laid back. I don't like to wear a lot of heavy makeup. I don't dress up 24/7. I'm not afraid to be caught on camera without makeup. Actually, one of my favorite characters I ever played was for a role in My Sister's Ghost, and then another one was on Quantum, which you can find on my IMDb page if anybody's interested to check them out. And I wore little to no makeup in Quantum, and I wore no makeup on My Sister's Ghost, and I loved it. I thought it looked so raw and just brought so much more to the character. But that's also my personality. I grew up in, I kind of grew up in a small town in the country, and getting down and dirty just isn't a big deal to me. I find it more interesting in a way. But there are times when I want to look really nice, and there's nothing wrong with that too. So.
No, absolutely. And Well, on the subject, I like keeping my hair nice and slick, nice and
Yeah.
short. I don't like having it poofy, because
Yeah.
then it looks like there's something wrong with me. And
Yeah.
for my beard, I'm not really a beard person. Maybe a case. This is why I hate shaving. I shave the beard, nice and smooth. Next day, can't snap my fingers. Like, where the hell did this beard come back? It's like someone that's threw it back at me.
I totally agree. I'm Italian, so when I shave my legs, it comes back like that. It's so irritating. It's too much of an upkeep. Just forget about it. Shaving shouldn't be a thing.
Yes,
Our barbaric ways.
I shave my beard I used to do it every Sunday, and then it's like, maybe I can do something else. And now I do it every Monday and Tuesday, and
Right.
Thursday and Friday. And it keeps coming back. I'm like, what, maybe I should go for electric hair remover. That would be nicer.
Oh, it's up to you. Yeah, totally up to you. I have met people where I haven't met a man, but I've spoken to a woman where she had LASIK hair removal and
Yeah.
she absolutely loved it. But I have heard of cases where, depending on your skin or how your body adjusts to that procedure, it can cause some scarring. I don't know. I have no experience with it, but up to you. Up to you. That scares me. I don't know if I could.
Hey, you only live once, right?
Hey, that's true. Hey, YOLO. I love it. I feel like, let's see, I feel like you asked me, okay, so I answered your social media question, correct?
Yes. Now I'm going to pass the show over to you.
Okay, so I can talk about whatever I want,
Yep.
kind of thing? Well, I guess one of the things I would love to share is that I recently have gotten into YouTube. I've been wanting to do this for years, but due to traveling and being in school and excuses, I hadn't done it yet. And also, to be honest, being guarded, that, you just, I don't know. It's just a scary thing to put yourself out there. But I'm at a point in my life where I'm ready to do it, and I have a YouTube channel that I'm trying to get up and running. And what I do on there is I don't have a ton of structure, but I'm trying to play around with characters that I come up with. I love improvising. So I have this character at the moment called Karen, and she's the friend that nobody likes.
Right.
Have you heard, are you familiar with Dane Cook, the comedian?
Yes.
Yeah, so he, I can't remember what year it was, but way back when I was younger, he had a bit where there's always a friend in every friends group that nobody likes. And if you're the person who's sitting there right now going, I don't know, we don't have that in my group of friends, you're the Karen. So there's always a Karen in every friends group. And then there's always a Brian for boys. Brian's the douchebag. And what was really funny was me and, I won't say my guy friend's name, but me and one of my guy friends, when we were watching him live, we were both like, we don't have a Karen, we don't have a Brian. And then Dane says that, and we're like, oh my gosh, we're the Brian and Karen. So she is very much a part of me, and she's ridiculous. She's ratchet. She does not care about her appearance. She's out there. It's a lot of fun. So I'm making just these weird little skits. Aside from that, I would love to put up some more serious content where, I'm looking into potentially creating more, down-to-earth skits, dramatic pieces, maybe poetic. I don't know. It's, again, no pressure. It's kind of whatever I feel like that week I'm going to make. So if you're interested or anybody watching is interested, there's my camera. It's youtube.com/Bernadette Sayre. So check it out and leave comments. Make sure they're nice. I'm just kidding. Put whatever you want. You can be real. If you hate it, you hate it.
Well, if you're up for it, maybe we can work together where I can advertise you on my website and you can advertise me.
Absolutely. Definitely. No, I love collaborating. And I'm inspired by you doing interviews. I was checking out your interviews with some of the other artists that you've spoken with, and I mean, I watched probably about 3-4 of them, and it was really cool. And I was listening to, you've interviewed Christian filmmakers, you've interviewed people working in Hollywood, I mean, just all over the spectrum. And it was just a really cool insight into what these people are doing and the things that they're accomplishing. So I really enjoyed it. I was inspired by some of your guests and you as well.
Oh, absolutely. I do have a couple questions for you off the air, but the last 2 questions I want to ask you.
Sure.
Is one, are you on social media and how can people follow you?
Sure.
And when I first approached you to be a guest in my talk show, what was your first reaction? And after being interviewed, how do you feel now? And what would you recommend to others?
So I'm the kind of person that I am always cautious, especially because there's so many scams out there, and this is nothing against you, but I'm a nobody. So, so when somebody approaches me, I do try to do my research just because it's really me at the moment. I do have agents who are incredible, but, this isn't something that, you necessarily have to go to an agent over. But anyway, so I tried to do my research on my end, and I looked you up, I researched you, I watched your videos, I got a feel for your show, and once I, got a sense of your energy and your vibe, I was like, yeah, I like Keith. I would do an interview with Keith. So I did my research first before I said yes or no. So just to see if it was something that, that I would want to be a part of. And I saw you have a kind heart and you're trying to make your dream come true, and I absolutely respect that. So, and I appreciate you reaching out to me. I mean, it's an honor. If I can be honest with you, this is my first time being interviewed as an actress. So I'm very, very excited, and that will go down on the record.
Hey, you're supporting a good cause and you're making a new friend at the same time,
Yes,
so it's a win-win.
Exactly. And what was your second? You asked. And how do I feel right now? I feel great.
Well, that too. Well, I'm glad you're happy. That's all that matters.
Yeah, definitely. And how to follow me on social media. So you can follow me. I should get my Twitter back up and running, but at the moment I have a acting Facebook page. So facebook.com/Bernadette Sayre. Everything is Bernadette Sayre. You can find me on IMDb to look at some of my credits. YouTube/Bernadette Sayre. Did I say Instagram? Yep, Instagram @Bernadette Sayre. And you spell my name BERNADETTE, and then Sayre is SAYRE.
Well, if you can add all that to the little Skype box, then I can just copy and paste it.
Sure, that'd be great.
Now, I do have a couple questions off the air. But wrapping up our interview segment, it was a real honor and privilege to have you as a guest, and I'm looking forward to building a friendship with you as well.
Yay. Bye. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.